everybody, my name is Angela and thank you for tuning in to this video today. I feel inspired to talk on this subject matter because it has been a struggle for me my entire life. The idea of beauty and spirituality. And you know, I believe that when we are born, that we have an innate knowing of our own beauty in our spirit, and as we live our lives and we are subject to social programming, we take on many beliefs that kind of cloud our own inner understanding and knowing of our beauty. So I just kind of want to share a little bit of my journey and how I've kind of come full circle with this to changing my idea of beauty and what it is, and allowing myself permission to express it. So when I was a child, I had a friend live close to me, and we were dance partners, or we were on the same dance team together. And I remember I was probably about 6 years old, and I remember we were in the back of a van getting ready for our dance. And she said to me, "You look pretty." And I said to her, "I know." You know, being 6 years old, I felt beautiful. And it was in a pure way, not as in what my physical body looked like, although feeling beautiful inside made me feel like I was physically beautiful as well. And when I said that, that's when our ensuing conversation, the programming, began. I was told at that time that it was conceited to feel like I was beautiful, or to say I feel beautiful or I am pretty, or acknowledge that someone else is expressing this about myself. And we had quite a little conversation as 6-year-olds about this. And I came out of the conversation knowing that it was not good to regard myself as beautiful. And so it all changed from that moment on. And then I was raised in a more sort of Eastern way of thought, with renunciation and disconnection from the physical body, in a way to focus on the spirit and your spirituality, so that you're not focusing so much on the body. Of course, there's a balance and an integration that comes to all that. But it was part of my journey. So in a disregard for my physical body and physical appearance, again, it was some feelings of guilt if I were to express beauty in a physical way, that it was being materialistic, so to speak. So, of course, once I hit my 20s and my 30s, then I began to wear makeup like every other woman in society, and it became the norm. And then it got to the point where I wouldn't leave the house without makeup, because that was just, I felt more beautiful if I was wearing makeup. And then I came to a period in my life where I was consciously confronting all of my fears, because I was spiraling with panic attacks, just like out of control panic attacks, which came from a childhood phase of my life. And I was working, that's a whole nother subject, but I was working on myself at the time. And this was in my late 30s, of working with these panic attacks and working with fears that I face. And I was working on facing every kind of fear that I could. And so I asked myself one day, when it came to presenting myself for my job, and I asked myself, well, how would I feel if I walked into work with no makeup on? And I worked in a place where there was a lot of people. I would see hundreds, maybe even thousands of people in a day. And my answer to that was, I felt fearful to walk into my job without wearing makeup and without looking the best that I possibly could physically. And And I thought, whoa, my God, if I'm working on confronting all of my fears, I need to confront this fear. And so I stopped wearing makeup on that day. And I walked into work, and I was curious what I was going to experience. And all of my coworkers were saying, oh, you look beautiful without makeup. Why do you even wear it? I've always wondered why you even wore makeup. And then I also got some other kind of comments from customers. Like, I think I had 2 other people tell me, and they were older men, you look different, like almost insinuating I looked better with the makeup, and why wasn't I wearing it? So, and then I was paying attention to how that made me feel. And I realized that actually it didn't bother me. And I was okay with that. I was okay to be looked at as not beautiful, or less beautiful than I was, or whatever I was being regarded as. And it didn't hurt me. It didn't hurt my self-esteem, and it made me feel empowered that I could walk into work with no makeup and feel strong and feel my self-esteem. And this has been a journey. I went years without wearing makeup after that, almost like I had swung the other way, like I was afraid to put it back on because I would be focusing on my appearance if I put makeup on. And I've been all over the place with this journey, and thinking, well, is it spiritual to put makeup on? Is that focusing on my appearance? And I've come sort of, I feel, a little more full circle with this idea. And for myself, I'm working on coming back into my natural state as much as possible without social norms telling me how I should and shouldn't believe and how I should and shouldn't feel about myself. So when it comes to my appearance and makeup and how I physically express myself, and even the ideas of beauty and spirituality, my natural state, I'm a double Libra, and Libras are all about beauty. And I realize that I have been suppressing the expression of beauty. And I have decided that if I want to put makeup on, it's going to be okay. And if I want to put a beautiful dress on and fix my hair and physically express beauty, that it's okay to do that. And so it's sort of giving myself permission to do that. But it is no longer tied to my self-esteem. And I think that if you are a person who is struggling with this sort of idea as well, is to simply ask yourself, what's your purpose behind doing whatever it is you're doing? Is it an expression? Is it trying to give yourself permission to feel beautiful, even though you don't have to do anything in your physical body to own that feeling of beauty that you likely very well had when you were a child? So for me, it's like I've decided to claim that back, that feeling of beauty that I had when I was 5 years old, of knowing that I am beautiful and that my spirit is beautiful. And when I know that I'm beautiful inside, it emanates. And it's like I feel it in my physical body, even though it's changing. So like, I'm 46 and I'm barreling toward 50 and I am full on in menopause and my body's changing. And physically, I was more beautiful in my 20s, in my 30s, or in my teens. And now I'm changing more than ever, faster than ever physically. And but it's so funny that now, even though I'm on the other end of physical beauty and all of that's changing, that the inner beauty is really shining through so much more because I've now given it permission to do that. So I did an experiment today at the grocery store, and I decided that I'm going to walk into the grocery store feeling as beautiful as possible, I'm going to take back that feeling of beauty that I had when I was a child, when I was 5 years old, before I was beginning to be programmed otherwise, just to see what would happen. What would happen in my environment? How would I feel? What would I see? What would I notice? So I walked into the store just as feeling this beauty inside of my heart and my soul, and emanating out into my physical body and to everyone around me, feeling grounded in that beauty. And this is what I noticed. And it really shocked me because it wasn't what I was expecting to notice. But what I noticed was the lack of that in other people, and the sort of dependence on the societal norms and definitions of what beauty is, and holding that as a standard to themselves. So it's like, unless you look a certain way, then you don't have that permission to feel that beauty. And it's so unconscious in people. Like, if you're not consciously working on yourself, then it's like a default. It's like you don't feel the beauty unless you look a certain way. And so I've realized, coming to feel and realize that that you can consciously make that choice of what you felt when you were a child before you began to be programmed with everything. That to feel that beauty inside emanating out, regardless of the physical appearance, but then it is also okay to express it into the physical appearance as well. Or at least I'm coming to feel that for myself. And what else do I want to say about this? Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, I thank you guys for listening, and it has been quite a journey of accepting and coming back into owning my own beauty, and coming full circle to understand that it's also okay to express it in the physical, as an expression of what I'm feeling inside. And anyway, so that's what I have to say about that. And I'm curious if any of you guys have comments or what you might have experienced and your thoughts and ideas on your own journey of owning your own beauty. So that is all I have to say, and thank you for listening and tuning in.